if God has given you an idea to complain about, if you go deep, God has given you an idea about the solution. And then the question becomes, are you bad enough to put the solution out there, to create the solution, and so the complaint will stop? I am the full name, Reverend Dr. Jacqueline Triche Atkins. I am, as I said, a woman of God. I practiced law for 100 years in the corporate law department. I was the first African-American president of the YWCA Metropolitan Chicago. When women were having a difficult time and the YWCA had all kinds of evidence of racism in helping them. I was on the Illinois State Board of Education, making a difference, working, and it's really hard because there's so much stuff, but trying to make a difference in the educational system. Early, just because I'm early, and everybody else, would I get to go and look out the backyard. And my mom has been up, and she is either washing or cooking or just doing something to make ready for the day. I had 6 brothers and sisters, and it was wonderful. I had a wonderful house. I had a wonderful mom and dad. I ain't got no sad story for you, but I would wake up and just feel really, really good as a little girl. I'm talking now 6 or 7 years old. And go through the day, of course, all the things you have to do to get ready. And if it's a summer day and school's out, then I head on out to the backyard and get my chalk and play hopscotch, or get my rope to play double dutch or some kind of dutch, and just hang out with my friends on the bike and ride around the neighborhood a little bit. That was the, wow, it's making me happy thinking about it. Looking at things simply from black theater, whether it was Lorraine Hansberry, Raisin in the Sun, which I was really young and saw it first, or whether I'm trying to think of some other plays. Another big thing my mother would take us to are plays. And it would just be sometimes just in the neighborhood, church, a group were getting together. And so for me, that's it. The other way, really, gospel music. I mean, my mother, who grew up in a Baptist church, and although we grew up Catholic, I could sing by the time I was 9. Every Precious Lord, I could sing them all, because my mother would go through the house singing them, and we would have them if there was anything on the TV dealing with gospel music, we would have a chance to see that. So yeah, culture definitely intertwined, but it was not limiting. Whether it was them dancing or whether it was Louis Armstrong, who was my dad. As a matter of fact, when my dad was on literally an hour before he made his transition, he was at home and we were playing jazz because that's what he loved. And he had been non-talkative, non-communicating, and my husband, who was very close to my dad, was sitting next to him. And we had Louis Armstrong on, and there was a song that my dad loved. And my husband, to this day, will tell you, there was a beat to the song, and he said, my dad just kind of moved his shoulders. And he looked the first time, because my dad was just laying there, hadn't moved or hadn't. And he looked, he said, oh, okay, that must have been something. He said, when that part of the song came on again, my dad moved his shoulders. My dad died probably about an hour later. And from my standpoint, particularly now theologically, that was my dad letting my husband know, I'm all right. I'm about to go on out of here, but I'm all right. No, I knew, because I was always this color. And while my hair was really thick, and my mother, I had a great Aunt Bee who would make sure it was pressed and curled. So they had curls, Shirley Temple curls everywhere. But I went to, as I said, a school, there was only maybe 2 of us in it. Carol, one of my best friends, who was the other person, she was light, very light. So I was the only quote unquote dark one. And what I recognized, it was a Catholic school, And they used to have the opportunity, it used to be something that you called crowning the Mother Mary in May. It was tradition, ritual. And the smartest little girl in the class was supposed to be the one to do that. Well, often I was the smartest girl in the class, and yet it was always a blonde-haired, blue-eyed little girl who got to crown Mother Mary. Going through school, though, was a difficult process. Recognizing, and in the Catholic schools, racism was prevalent. And so then I thank God for the Black Power movement, because by the time I started rolling into 13 and 14, this black skin was beautiful. This big butt was beautiful. This big lips and the nappy hair, the big of the fro. The summer after I finished college, spending the summer in countries in Africa was the icing on the cake. For me, when I came back, bring it on, what you got? I will love you as I make you walk the straight and narrow. And that is any person who wanted to bring us some racism on it. I'm gonna love you because I'm not gonna hate you. I'm not gonna burden myself with that. But you will straighten up. You won't put that on me like that. Because I wasn't a minister, I was a lawyer, I was a teacher, then I went to law school. But it wasn't about solidifying in the external. And that's too often what people do. I solidified me. I pulled all my pieces back together that perhaps had gotten off kilter, or as what I like to say, if I may, I do a Gold Rush Women's Conference, I pulled the muck and the mire. I started pulling that off so I could pull my gold nuggets and start creating the life that God put me here to create. I wasn't a lost, black, colored, African American, whatever your child in a white America. No, I was so much bigger than that. And my roots and my origins were so much deeper. And the power of them was evidence as I saw what I saw in the various countries that summer. What I had not lost, and this is what I tell women, even though by that time now I had 2 degrees and I was working on a 3rd degree, I still had not lost what I like to term as the low-grade fever of fear. As I was moving through life, this fear sometimes, it would be as if I'm waiting for somebody to find out that I'm really not that strong, I'm really not that powerful, I'm really not that brilliant. And then I came into my theology, into my God for myself. Each of us, I'm very clear, are here for a purpose. You came to experience some things, you came to do some things. Otherwise, you would not be here in a body. It doesn't matter if you're 7 years old, if you're 97. If you're still walking around in a body, that means that God, the presence of God is working with you. And there's something for you to do. My calling is to first and foremost remember who I am, so that my very life, I may not even have to ever open my mouth, but my very life will be somebody's Bible, somebody's view that they can capture and turn their life into something that they're to be doing, that they are to manifest.